Okay, so I'm bringing you guys a deck tech of my Grixis Control deck. I'm going to try and make this quick. I've done this video once already, but it was too long for YouTube, so let's see if I can trim this down a little bit. I'm not going to go into the mechanics of the deck really, because I'm going to do a video of me actually playing the deck against one of my teammates. So let's get started with the land base. I'm going to start with dual lands. Got 3 Sulfur Falls here. Get the third one out for you. So got 3 of those. Blue-red dual land, Innistrad. Set those up there. Next we have a playset of Drowned Catacombs. Blue-black dual land from the core sets. Again, sorry for the speed, but kind of have to do it, YouTube being a bitch. And then we have the blue-red shock land from Return to Ravnica. Counts as an island and a swamp, or in a mountain. Can be fetched out if you decide to put fetch cards in your version of this deck. I do not have fetch cards because I run 24 land, and I draw plenty of it. And a playset of Blood Crypts. Counts as a swamp and mountain. Again, fetch those out. They're from Return to Ravnica. And now we'll go into the basic lands. Got 1, 2, 3 mountains, or sorry, islands. Full art. All the islands are full art. If you're new to Magic and you like that style, these are Zendikar ones. There are unglued or unhinged full art lands. 3 swamps. And a single basic mountain. Next I'm going to go into the artifacts. Only running 2 artifacts, both chromatic lanterns. If you're not familiar with it, plays for 3 colorless, gives lands you control. They add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool once you tap them, and the lantern itself taps for any color. Next I will be going into the creatures. Running 2 augurs of Bolus. Ponder is now out of set. This is a alternate ponder mechanic. Blue and a colorless get a 1/3 body on the field. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. You may reveal an instant sorcery card from among them and put it into your hand, and put the rest on the bottom of your library. So, pretty good. Olivia Voldaren, one of the creature win cons in this deck. Also should probably touch on that I'm only running 5 creatures in this deck. It is a 4-drop, 3/3 flyer from Innistrad. She's a 1-of in the deck. Her ability is red and a colorless. She deals 1 damage to target creature. That creature becomes a vampire in addition to its other types. And you get to put a 1/1 counter on Olivia. Her secondary ability is a 2 black, 3 colorless, so 5 total. Gain control of target vampire for as long as you control Olivia. Awesome control aspects right there. Balefire Dragon, 7-drop, 6/6 flyer. His ability is essentially a board wipe. You swing in, whenever he deals combat damage to a player, it deals that much damage to each creature that player controls. Awesome card, later addition into the deck, but he's been very, very kind to me. He is also from Innistrad. And here we have Niv Mizzet Draco Genius. He's got some versatility to him with his mechanics and abilities. 6-drop, 5/5 flyer, another 1-of. Whenever he deals combat damage, whenever he deals damage to a player, you get to draw a card. You tap a blue and a red, he deals 1 damage to target creature or player, so again, versatility with his ability, you can use it as either removal or direct damage to player and draw a card. Usually when he comes out, you have enough mana on board to do his ability at least 3-4 times and then swing in. So you can draw about 5 cards with him, replenish your hand late game. Because I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, you will be discarding a lot of cards. And now we will go into instance, and you will see why you will be discarding quite a few cards. Desperate Ravings is one of those reasons. Uncommon from Innistrad, red and a colorless. You draw 2 cards and discard 1 at random. Flashbacks for a blue and 2 colorless. Pretty self-explanatory. And also, you won't have to worry too much about discarding the cards. Lots of alternate win conditions. Basically, you're using these cards to thin out your deck and search out what you need at the time to win the game. Forbidden Alchemy, blue, 2 colorless. Look at the top 4 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand and the rest to the graveyard. Flashes back for 7 total, 1 black, 6 colorless, so you can get multiple uses out of it if you find it necessary. Again, thins out the deck, get what you need. Got some early removal, Tragic Slip, Dark Ascension common. Plays for 1 black, target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. So good early game, morbid triggers. When a creature died this turn, if you cast this, the target creature gets -13, -13 instead. Gets rid of indestructibility and majority of cards, or majority of creatures on the field. Not many things can survive -13/13. Cyclonic Rift. For a blue and a colorless, you can bounce 1 target non-land permanent to its owner's hand that you don't control. And you can overload it for 7 total, 1 blue, 6 colorless, to bounce all non-land permanents you don't control back to their owner's hand. Really good card, makes a wonderful board wipe. And my favorite counterspell as of right now is Syncopate. Wonderful early game, blue and X, counter target spell unless its controller pays X. If that spell was countered this way, exile it instead of putting it into its owner's graveyard. It's basically a combination of Mana Leak and Dissipate. Really, really awesome card. Love the art on it as well. And then 2 Is It Charms. Plays for a blue and red. Multiple uses out of this card right here. You've got counter target non-creature spell unless its controller pays 2. Deals 2 damage to target creature, or draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. So you've got draw mechanic, counter mechanic, and kill spell all in one. Great card, very versatile. Now I'm going to go into the sorceries. Running a 1 of Increasing Ambition. Plays for a black, 4 colorless. Search your library for a card and put that card into your hand. Pretty self-explanatory. Flashes back for 8 total converted mana cost, 7 in a black. And if you flash it back, you get 2 cards. So search your deck for 2, pop them in your hand. Easy way to search out win-con creatures or planeswalkers, which what this deck is mainly based around is the planeswalkers, as you'll see here soon. Rakdos Return, wonderful, wonderful late game win condition. Black and red, X deals X damage to target opponent. That player then discards X cards. Really, really good late game. And for a fairly creatureless deck, Barter in Blood is a wonderful 4-drop removal spell. 2 black, 2 colorless. Each player sacrifices 2 creatures. Normally when you're casting this, you either have no creatures or an Augur of Bolas who has already come out and did his job. Then we have Dreadbore, one of the better kill spells that has been printed. Black and a red, destroy target creature or planeswalker, so we've got creature removal and planeswalker removal in 1 card. Great card, and I do have ways to get multiple, if not infinite, uses out of this, which you'll see soon. Mizzium Mortars, again, very efficient kill spell. Unfortunately plays at sorcery speed, but still really, really good. A red and a colorless for 4 damage to target creature you don't control. Not much can survive that. There are a few things out there. And then Overload for 3 red and 3 colorless to do 4 damage to all creatures you don't control. Again, not many things can survive that. And of course, if you're playing red, you need Bonfires. A lot of people say that, and it is an expensive card. They're $50 a pop. If you can get your hands on them, though, I recommend you do. Hard cast for red and double X, or Miracle Cast for single red and X, and it deals X damage to target player and each creature he or she controls. Again, redirect the damage to Planeswalker, but normally you're wanting to do this to your actual opponent because you have Planeswalker removal. And one of my favorite miracles, Temporal Mastery. Double blue and 5 to hard cast, take an extra turn after this one, exile the card after casting. Miracles for 2. Again, really, really good card. If you get in your opening hand, great discard fodder. So there's that. Almost always want to play it for its miracle cost, though. If you get in your opening hand, you pretty much don't want to hold on to it. And now we're going to get into the Planeswalkers, the primary win conditions of this deck. 2 Liliana of the Veil, 2 black and a colorless. Comes in with 3 loyalty counters. Her +1, each player discards a card. -2, target player sacrifices a creature. And her ultimate is -6, separate all permanents target player controls into 2 piles. That player sacrifices all permanents in the pile of his or her choice. Don't usually kick her for her ult, mainly use these 2 abilities to control the board and to prevent them from basically playing anything. Jace, Architect of Thought, the new Jace from Return to Ravnica. Really good. Plays for 2 blue, 2 colorless. Comes in with 4 loyalty counters. +1 whenever a creature attacks. It gets -1, -0, and that's until your next turn. -2 I don't really use, so I'm not going to go into it. -8 for each player. Search that player's library for a non-land card, exile it, then that player shuffles his or her library. You may cast those cards without paying their mana cost. This is how you get your win conditions out and how you prevent their win conditions. Basically, for each player, you and your opponent, you search their deck and your deck. You pull a card out, they pull a card out, or you pull a card out of their deck as well, exile both, and cast them. Usually I'll grab something that I don't want them to have, or something that I could actually use. Just really, really, really good card. Highly underestimated so far. Not a lot of people playing him. And Tamiyo, and this is why you don't give a shit about discarding things. Sorry for the language, but it happens. Got the English one up here since I'm assuming most don't read Japanese. She plays for 2 blue and 3 colorless, comes in with 4 loyalty counters. Tap down a permanent for her +1. It doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step, so you can get creatures, land, really, really good control aspect. -2 I don't use a lot, not going to go into it. You can read it for yourself if you wish. The -8 gives you the emblem. You have no maximum hand size, and whenever a card is put into the graveyard from anywhere, you may return it to your hand if you wish. Don't have to, so if you don't want to, you don't have to, but you know, that's where I got into the infinite Dreadbore loop. When I first playtested this deck, Tamiyo and Lily were out at the same time. Tamiyo's ult was kicked, and it was pure, utter slaughter at that point. And the primary win con of the deck, Nicobolus. Plays for 8, really hard to hardcast, but that's when my boy Jace comes in. Kick his ult, search out Bolus, exile him, play him for no cost at all. He comes in for 8, has 5 loyalty counters, +3 destroy target non-creature permanent, -2 gain control of a target creature, which you don't really have to use unless you're in a really, really hard pinch. I usually just use this until I can kick his ult. And his ult basically means you win game. Nicobolus deals 7 damage to target player. That player discards 7 cards and sacrifices 7 permanents. End of story. Most people will attempt to keep playing until I have 9 counters, and then it's usually scoop after that, and a good game handshake. So that's the deck tech. Sorry I didn't have time to get to the sideboard. My last video that I tried to do for this was 16 minutes long, and this is pushing that. So let's see if I can actually get this on YouTube here. I hope you guys enjoyed, and again, I will have a posted video of me doing a match with this deck. It'll probably be posted in pieces. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will also try and get the sideboard to you guys as well.